Welcome to this time of prayer and meditation where we seek God's voice for our lives in the time of silence. I invite you to find a place to sit comfortably, to slow your breathing, and potentially to close your eyes as an aid to keep the distractions of the world from entering into this time. During this session, there will be a reading from our scriptures, followed by a time of silence. Maybe a word in the reading has spoken to you, and you can use that word to center your thoughts. If not, a word will be displayed on your screen for you. After the time of silence, there will be a prayer. So don't worry about the length of the silence, as the prayer will mark the end of that time. Following that prayer, there will be a second prayer that will include the petitions that have been submitted to prayers@holycrossburlington.ca. If there is someone that you wish to add to our prayer list, then please do email us at prayers@holycrossburlington.ca. When the king of Egypt was told that the people had fled, the minds of Pharaoh and his officials were changed toward the people. And they said, "What have we done letting Israel leave our service?" So he had his chariot made ready and took his army with him. He took 600 picked chariots and all the other chariots of Egypt with officers over them all. The Lord hardened the heart of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and he pursued the Israelites who were going out boldly. The Egyptians pursued them, all Pharaoh's horses and chariots, his chariot drivers and his army. They overtook them, camped by the sea. By Pi-hahiroth, in front of Baal-zephon. As Pharaoh drew near, the Israelites looked back, and there were the Egyptians advancing on them. In great fear, the Israelites cried out to the Lord. They said to Moses, "Was it because there were no graves in Egypt that you have taken us away to die in the wilderness? What have you done to us, bringing us out of Egypt? Is this not the very thing we told you in Egypt? Let us alone, and let us serve the Egyptians. For it would have been better for us to serve the Egyptians than to die in the wilderness." But Moses said to the people, "Do not be afraid. Stand firm and see the deliverance that the Lord will accomplish for you today. For the Egyptians whom you see today, you shall never see again. The Lord will fight for you, and you have only to keep still." Then the Lord said to Moses, "Why do you cry out to me? Tell the Israelites to go forward. But you will lift up your staff and stretch out your hand over the sea and divide it, that the Israelites may go into the sea on dry ground. Then I will harden the hearts of the Egyptians, so that they will go in after them. And so I will gain glory for myself over Pharaoh and all his army, his chariots and his chariot drivers. And the Egyptians shall know that I am the Lord, when I have gained glory for myself over Pharaoh, his chariots, and his chariot drivers." The angel of the Lord who was going before the Israelite army moved and went behind them. And the pillar of cloud moved from in front of them and took its place behind them. It came between the army of Egypt and the army of Israel. And so the cloud was there with the darkness, and it lit up the night. One did not come near the other all night. Then Moses stretched out his hand over the sea. The Lord drove the sea back by a strong east wind all night, and turned the sea into dry land, and the waters were divided. The Israelites went into the sea on dry ground, the waters forming a wall for them on their right and on their left. The Egyptians pursued and went into the sea after them. All of Pharaoh's horses, chariots, and chariot drivers. At the morning watch, the Lord in the pillar of fire and cloud looked down upon the Egyptian army and threw the Egyptian army into panic. He clogged their chariot wheels so they turned with difficulty. The Egyptians said, "Let us flee from the Israelites, for the Lord is fighting for them against Egypt." O God, you have called your servants to ventures of which we cannot see the ending, by paths as yet untrodden, through perils unknown. Give us faith to go out with good courage, not knowing where we go, but only that your hand is leading us and your love supporting us. Through Jesus the Christ. Amen. Mighty God, your Son Jesus brought healing and wholeness to all. Bring your healing presence to all who are sick or in pain, especially Abby, Aidan, Alex, all healthcare workers, all in Halton and around the world living with COVID-19. Asher, Cal, Carol, Carolyn, Celeste, Colleen, Frida, Hedda, Ingo and Sandra, Irene and Brooke, Erwin and Ruth, Janice and Sheila, Gerlene, Jessie, Lori and Ed, Marg, Mickey, Natalie, Ray, Richard, Rose and Herman, the self-employed who are facing the stress of severely reduced income as the virus impacts their business, Shelley, the unemployed and underemployed, Valerie, Wayne, and all whom we hold in our hearts. Grant hope to all who are discouraged or in despair. Drive away all suffering. Give us a firm hope and strengthen our trust in you. Through Jesus the Christ. Amen.